The debate over political zoning has become the defining issue ahead of IMO State's 2027 governorship election. At the center is the IMO Charter of Equity, an informal agreement designed to rotate the governorship among the state's 3 senatorial zones. The charter, endorsed by the State House of Assembly and supported by Governor Hope Uzodinma, was created to ensure geographic balance. Since Governor Uzodinma is from the Olu zone, many expect the next governor to come from the Owerri zone in 2027 to fulfill the rotation principle. However, the governor has recently stated he cannot handpick a successor, emphasizing democratic competition and competence over strict zoning. This has caused uncertainty and political maneuvering, with Owerri zone advocates pushing for the charter to be honored while others prepare for an open contest. Critics now question the charter's legitimacy and binding power, calling it a source of division rather than unity. As aspirants from all zones position themselves, the 2027 race is shaping up to be a clash between the principle of zoning and the realities of political ambition and party strategy. For analysis about equity and zoning in IMO politics, in manners that promote economic and infrastructure development in the region, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in IMO State, Success, Akagburuonye, joins us now. It's good to have you with us, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So, as stated, governorship in principle, revolves around 3 senatorial zones, of course, Orlu, Owerri, and Okigwe. So, how does this ensure fairness and social harmony in Imo State, bearing in mind the governor's stance on not being able to choose from any zone and the issue of, zoning with uncertainty at the moment? So, let's have your thoughts on that, sir.
I believe man's plan differs from that of God. The present governor was sent by God, as I could understand from my analysis of what is happening, and he has made that pronouncement. If God endorses it that the next governor will come from Owerri zone, God will honor that his promise, and he will have no option than to keep to it. But if he said it on his own, and God has not approved it, there's nothing any human being can do, no matter the debate, but it is God that chooses. In his own case, it was God that chose him. So I believe if God is choosing the next governor from Owerri zone, even the governor himself cannot stop it. That's the way I look at it.
Now, if you let's talk about the IMO Charter of Equity, which was created to promote fairness and inclusion among the 3 senatorial zones. Do you believe that it is still relevant today, especially if you look at the political climate? Some would tell you, or some critics say it has outlived its usefulness.
The governor has said it. As we are talking now, at least for now, he's a man that God can use. He has said it. Anybody else can have his own opinion. That's why I said, because I believe so much in what God can do. He has said it because he wished it should be like that. There could be influence from different quarters. I repeat, if God has said the next governor come from Owerri zone, human opinion does not matter. I stand by that because I know in politics a lot of things happens. You can say this today, tomorrow you say another thing. But the way God had decided to favor Imo State by bringing the present governor, he beat 2 incumbents to come in. Unless he tells me tomorrow that he had a godfather. From my analysis of what happened during the election to his swearing in, I believe he had no godfather. So if God could bring him to change the narrative, what is happening in Imo State today, even the blind could see that it's working. He's the most powerful governor for now. And who made it? God. So if you had a godfather, I believe they would have had some negative influence to stop him from what he's doing. Even some of his friends, before he came to power, are now criticizing him that this is not the chief opposition man we used to know. Because he used to be very generous, spending his money to alleviate people's suffering. But now he came there, he knows that God will hold him accountable. Whatever he does with this opportunity, he decided to face the formation of IMO State. So the way God brought him, I believe God can also use him to bring his successor.
All right. So, over time, have there been instances where the issue of inclusivity have been a challenge on the issue of zoning, you think, in IMO State?
Well, I've not been a politician to the extent of knowing what was going on. I came out this time because I believe I'm prepared for it. I may have wished, I may have desired, but I've not really come out to the extent that I could be reckoned with.
But you are a citizen of IMO State. At least you've been living there for some time. At least you would know, how the political landscape works at some point before you're coming out for this.
Well, that's the same thing I'm saying, because there are people they used to call for meetings to discuss things. People they could reckon with. These are people maybe they were discussing it with. We're hearing hearsay. But now I'm involved. I'm working out strategies to understand the game. And I am backing on the fact that God can do all things.
Okay, let's look at the internal structure of the APC in Imo State. How does the party plan to manage the growing ambitions across all three zones without risking internal fractures?
People are free to wish and desire. The heart of man is full of desires and expectations. But it is only God that can bring it to pass. It will be unfair for anybody from Oluzon to come out this time that he or she is contesting for governorship. It's either the person has come to create confusion or to undermine God. And I assure you, with the governor promising that there should be child of equity, with the prayers of people, demobilize for a change. Nobody from Oluzon that means well for Imo State will come out. They would rather support the zone. Akagburuonye zone had taken just 4 years, but do they consider the fact that since the return of democracy, the zone has just tested 7 months? So this time, the governor has come to balance it. And in balancing that equation, he's not doing it on his own volition. It's a man that prays, it's a man that carries people along. There's one particular thing about the governor that makes me happy and proud of him. He's a man that if you come out and say, I'm capable of doing this, he gives you room to do it. That's the only way people can have opportunity to showcase themselves. If you had no opportunity, if you are not given an opportunity, you will not be able to show what you can do. I have an instance to give, the reason why I'm saying this. As an individual, I came out to empower the youth. The youth empowerment program involved camping youths in a particular location for 2 weeks, train them in solar panel installation, inverter and CCTV. There were security reports to the governor to the effect that we don't know what is going on in Obo for Abombise, where sources camp youths, male and female, for 2 weeks. The governor did not say go and disperse them, arrest them or whatever. He made time to study. What was it? Each time we invited him to say, send somebody to come and see what we're doing. He obliged us. That alone endeared him to my heart, because he wished anybody can come up from anywhere to become whatever God wants him to be if you give the person the opportunity. When Obama was making his acceptance speech after he was elected president of America, he said, America has the best army. That is not why America is great. America has the best economy. That's not why America is great. America is great because of the philosophy of the founding fathers who made it possible for anyone to rise from anywhere to become whatever the person wants to be. That is the philosophy distinguished in the opposite Odema has introduced in Imo State. If you come out to say you are capable of doing this, it gives you room to prove yourself. So that was why Hope Rising for Imo Lives thrived to the extent that we have been able to train over 300,000 Imo youths, cutting across the 27 local government areas of Imo State. Some of them are making living now from that. So with that in him, God will sustain him to make his choice right. Yes.
We know that Governor Uzodimma said that he would not handpick the next governor. But what qualities do you think Imo people are expecting in the next governor? And do you think that it is an open ticket, despite what the governor said?
If he has said he will not handpick the next person, I'll pray for him to keep to that. Let God choose. Let people choose. I am telling you that the voice of the people is the voice of God. Like I told you, I may not be correct, he had no godfather. And because God backed him up, he succeeded. He believed that if God has anointed anybody from anywhere, even as I'm saying that the person may not come from Oluzon or Kigbezon or this, I will not foreclose the fact that if God chooses anybody from those areas, we cannot say no. And the way and circumstances that the person will emerge, people that believe God and believe the power of God will also know that this could be the hand of God. And there will be no objection. So if my governor has said he will not handpick anybody, I support him and I pray with him along that line that he should allow God to choose. God is capable of choosing anybody from anywhere. Even people like us that have not been in politics, we are not reckoned with. Yeah. It could be the case of David.
Are you eyeing the seat?
Yes, I will succeed him if God approves him. If God approves it. Okay. So the time Samuel went to anoint the next king of Israel, there were people that were looking at in the house of Jesse. Nobody reckoned with David. But after looking at those people, they believe had the power to do what they were looking for. They didn't find. They couldn't find any. So Samuel now asked, are there, or is there no other person from this family? Derogatorily, they say there's one in the bush with the animals. That statement was not complimentary. It didn't mean they didn't even count David. But because that was the man God has chosen, Samuel said, I will not sit down until he comes. And when he came, he anointed him. In the case of Mephibosheth, David became king. After years of being in power, he remembered his friend Jonathan. But because of the way God dealt with the family of Jonathan, nobody believed that somebody was still there. Okay. That was why David used that word. Is there anybody left in the family of Saul that I could show him mercy because of Jonathan? So Ziba said, yes.
All right.
Jonathan had somebody, but he was crippled. That word crippled supposed not to come in because David as a king had nothing to do with the cripple. So when people like us are now raising our hands, they will have one thing or the other to say about us that could discourage people. But if that is the case, God will now show that he has the power to choose.
Indeed. At the end of the day, it's all about equity and fairness. And hopefully the people will elect those candidates they feel will represent them justly. Mr. Success Akagburuonye, Chieftain, All Progressives Congress, would like to thank you very much for your thoughts on this issue. It's good to have you with us on Newsday.
Thank you very much.